Hello. I'm kind of saying good morning because I am bringing you a breakfast entree today. I'm Renee Chikowski coming to you from Howell, Michigan, and I am bringing what I call my harvest pancakes with a maple cream butter. I'm really excited about this because I invented this recipe after I had something very, very similar on vacation. I thought it kind of sounded odd, but that's kind of what I go after. So I ordered it, and it was wonderful. It's got some very unique ingredients in it, and I hope you give it a try. It's got a flavor and a texture to it, unlike anything I've ever had before in a pancake. So I'm hoping you'll give it a try too. I'm going to kind of walk you through it. We're going to cook them. We're doing this in one big filming, so I'm hoping that my pan's going to be okay when we get over, but we'll see. What we start with are a regular 2-cup batter mix of whatever your favorite pancake batter is. We like a whole grain mixture, and whatever the 2-cup measurement is what you're going to follow here, and you'll get complete instructions on the website. So I started out with that and mixing that up according to the package directions. To that, I'm going to add 1 can of solid packed pumpkin. Did you see how I kind of got it to match my shirt? Pretty clever, huh? This is solid packed pumpkin, not the pie pumpkin or the flavored pumpkin. It doesn't have any ingredients in it other than solid packed pumpkin. Sometimes it's sold as pumpkin puree, either or. So that's going to get mixed in a little bit. To that, I'm going to add about 3/4 of a cup of grated zucchini. Now, here's the thing. If you have kids that don't like green or don't like to eat their vegetables, peel your zucchini first. Otherwise, I usually take just a whole small zucchini skin on because the skin's really tender and great, and put that in. So that's going to go in. To that, I'm going to add about 3/4 of a cup of grated carrots. You can see where this is going. Definitely a harvest type rustic pancake. To that, I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of grated peeled apple. You really don't have to peel the apple, but I find that if you do, the texture maybe is a little bit better. To that, I'm going to add some cinnamon. Oh, I love cinnamon. About 1/2 teaspoon or so, but that could be adjusted up or down depending on what your taste is. So I'm going to stir that in. You can see that it's starting to get a really nice color. You see? Doesn't that look good? And to this, I'm going to add, and I say it's optional, 1/2 cup of chopped pecans, but for me it's not optional, it's a must. I love that little bit of texture in there. I prefer pecans, but you really could use almonds or walnuts if you wanted. It's kind of a way for you to make it your own. So I'm going to stir this up. And really, once the pancake batter is mixed, it doesn't take that much to stir it together. All right. This is going to shoot on over to the stove. Check it out. Hoping that the griddle's okay. We'll see here. I'm going to use a scoop to measure out. Ooh, so far so good. You know, notice I'm not using any butter or oil on my non-stick griddle. Most of the time with non-stick, you won't need to use that. The trick is to make sure that they start cooking, or that the pancakes are cooked before you turn them. And notice I'm flattening them out just a little bit. Because these are so dense, you want them to spread out a little bit so the center gets cooked. It does have the grated zucchini and the grated carrot and the apple in there, which makes it a little bit more moist, maybe a little bit more dense, so it's going to take maybe a little bit more to cook. So we're going to leave those alone so they can cook, and come on back here and let's put the maple cream butter together. Now here's a little thing about me. I actually have low blood sugar. It's called hypoglycemia. I've had it since I was 13 years old. I've been managing it just fine. But I know that I've got to watch my sugar intake and then always increase my protein intake, which is why cream cheese is such a wonderful ingredient for me. So instead of putting syrup on my pancakes, I'm usually putting, some cream cheese on, different things like that. I came up with this combination because I do like a little bit of sweetness with the pancakes, but not too much, and this is a great combination. But I also like that, I love melted butter and that buttery consistency. So what I do is I take 8 ounces of cream cheese, I take about 2 ounces of butter, which is about 1/2 stick, and the butter is softened and the cream cheese is softened, and 3/4 of a cup or so of maple syrup is what I like to my taste. You could adjust that up a little bit or down a little bit depending on what your taste is. And I usually start by whisking this together just to kind of get it going. I don't want to melt the butter because I want this to have a nice rich consistency. So I want to just soften a little bit, either by leaving it on the counter or letting it sit on the counter and putting it in the microwave for just a little bit. Sticking a little bit, fighting back here. Everybody awake? Alright. My kids used to love it if they heard me banging around the kitchen because they knew that breakfast was going to be good. So once you get that started, I switch over and put a little hand mixer on for a minute. Excuse me. Fortunately, it doesn't take long to mix up. You can see you get a nice creamy consistency. The butter and the cream cheese melt together really nicely. And then what I usually do is make this up ahead of time, pop it in the refrigerator, where I have one already made up and chilling a little bit. It sets up and just gives us a great consistency. Come on over here. I'm going to flip my, oh, perfect. I'm going to flip my pancakes. You can see they've got a beautiful color to them. I'm going to flip those and let them go. And then come on back over here. When you're looking at the consistency of the cream, you'll see that it gets a little bit of air, it gets a little bit fluffy, and just the right amount of sweetness. I'm using real maple syrup, but you know, if you really did have to watch your sugar intake, you could use a substitute sugar-free syrup mixed in with this. It's really, really good. Okay. Pancakes should be done. Come on over here. I'm going to just turn this a little bit on the side. Can you see how they're getting nice and puffy? Even though we've added the other ingredients in it, it still puffs up really, really nice. Let me bring a couple of these over. We'll put them on the plate just like this. Okay, one more. I was a good girl today. And to serve this, I'm going to take a little bit of our cream, spread it on top, and watch. The butter will melt. The cream will keep its, the cream cheese will keep its nice consistency, and that maple color just pulls it all together. Doesn't it look good? These are Harvest pancakes with maple cream butter, and I don't mind if I do. Thanks. Have a great morning.